Hey everyone, I'm going to be doing a how to work with Lucifer part 2 because my last one is like the most viewed video on my channel, and I still got a lot of questions from people asking just questions about this, so I wanted to go over literally every single thing. This is going to be probably the most in-depth video I think I have ever done and the longest. So I'm going to be going over multiple different things as well as Lucifer's lore, which is something that is incredibly difficult to find, but I'm going to just kind of briefly go over it so that you can understand, because lore is an incredibly important thing to know about a deity when you're going into working with them, because it's going to help you get the full picture on what you can expect from that deity and what they also will expect of you. So yeah, just a little bit of background in case you're wondering. I am a pagan witch. I grew up around witchcraft and spirituality. And yeah, so none of this is new to me. If you're struggling, don't feel bad. I have some people that are like, please be patient with me. I am, don't worry. I've had a lot of experience, so don't be afraid to ask any questions in the comments. Lucifer is my patron alongside Aphrodite, and yeah, I just wanted to kind of touch base on that. And also, if you don't believe in any of this and you have a different belief system and a different religion, please, you don't have to watch my videos. You don't have to, no one's forcing you to be here. Please, you don't need to comment anything that is nasty. I'm just going to delete your comment. And yeah, so if you don't like this, then just click out of the video, leave my channel. And yeah, so let's move on to this. So Lucifer's lore. So if you have access to a system where you can run books and articles through this, that basically makes sure that this is a scholarly article, that would be good. If you are somebody who's still in education, probably your school library, but I understand that's a hard thing to have access to. But basically what this means, if something is considered a scholarly or academic article, is that everything in it is 100% fact, nothing is plagiarized, everything, it's, checked, right? So if you have access to that, you can definitely obviously read up on those books if you find any about Lucifer, because they're probably going to have good information. But I'm going to just briefly say, so Lucifer fell from heaven by choice when he disagreed with Jehovah that people should give their power away to the deity that they believe in out of fear of what is going to happen to them in this life and in the afterlife. And obviously Lucifer felt, you shouldn't do that. People should want to be, having self-respect and dignity and, the traits and characteristics that we now as witches and spiritualists can recognize and categorize those traits as being your higher self. So with that being said, Lucifer decided to leave, and alongside he went down with some other demons, some of them being like Belial, and they basically created the utopia that we now know as hell, which by the way is not a fiery pit of, scary, weird things. It's just a place where they all live. It's just their own little utopia. Hell isn't what they paint it like in, these crazy movies and stuff like that. And yeah, I just wanted to say that. Another thing that I wanted to mention about Lucifer's lore is there is the common misconception that him and Archangel Michael had this whole like falling out, and that's like not really true. It's just now if you look at it, and if you are somebody who works with both light and dark gods and deities and stuff like that, they do have clashing personalities. So if you are somebody who temporarily works with deities and maybe doesn't have one of them as your patron, maybe don't have them in at the same time, just out of respect, because again, keep the peace. But yeah, another fact about Lucifer is actually the first twin flame. So most people would recognize the first twin flame as Adam and Eve, where Source took half of Adam and created Eve, but actually the first twin flame was Lucifer when he took half of himself and created Lilith. So that's just also something that you might want to expect too. If you are having situations where you are dealing with a partner and you want to also leave that relationship or something like that, or if you're having trouble with that, just so you know, he can help you with that as well. Just in case any of you are wondering, he's the first twin flame. I'm sure he understands. So yeah, he can kind of do it all. And then the last thing that I also want to go over is because I personally believe that you should understand banishing and protection magic before you get into any deity work, and this is one of the reasons why. So just so you know, the devil is not a real deity. The devil is a made-up concept that was used by others. Well, it was used for a lot of reasons, but one of the reasons is that spirits would impersonate that, and these spirits are generally what people would be like, this is the demonic possession, but really they're just like parasitic entities. They're not demons. I think demons just don't care enough. I don't want to say they're too lazy to go and do all this stuff, but like, because they're not lazy, but like they just don't care, right? So it was the spirits that were trying to latch onto people and possess them and stuff like that. So I'm just going to call them demonic possessions. It was those spirits that were impersonating the devil, because if they were to impersonate Lucifer, they would get in a lot of trouble down there. So if a spirit comes to you and says, oh, like, I'm the devil, that is not Lucifer. Please banish that spirit out and get it out of your space. That is not what you think it is, and it is probably going to cause harm. There's a really good possibility for that. So please understand banishing and protection magic before you go into working with Lucifer or any other spirit. So yeah, there you go, a big recap. So, understand protection and don't believe everything you hear from people. Now, reasons why Lucifer might come to you. So there are a few reasons why Lucifer might come to you. Like I had said, he can kind of do it all. So he might come to you if you are needing to leave a relationship, whether that is platonic, romantic, even a family member. If somebody is making you feel disempowered, he may come to you. Or if you are in a career where you are not fulfilled, or anything like that, anything that is preventing you from becoming your higher self, he is going to enter the space. Now, please do not call on him first. This is kind of etiquette for any spirit, but with the exception of the archangels and angels, please don't call on them first. Generally what will happen is they will give you signs that they are present through specific omens, and then you call on them. And if you confuse some of the omens for another deity and you call in Lucifer when really it's like Apollo because you're seeing crows, don't worry, they're not going to get mad at you. They understand that that's a mistake. So if you're kind of confused about that, or you're worried that you might make a mistake, it's okay. You're not going to be the first, or you're not the first and you're not going to be the last. So, they won't mind if it's a simple mistake. And you just restart and you go back to doing more research. But please don't call on him first. If he wants to work with you, he will come to you. Unless you are in like dire need and desperate help of his power, I guess, then you can call him in, but please make sure you have a good intention. So yeah, anything that is preventing you from becoming your higher self is a reason why he might come to you. So like I said, relationships, finances, job, anything like that. So what'll happen is, let's say you figure out it's Lucifer, he's here. What we would traditionally do next is set up a devotional space. Now, the reason why we do this, because Lucifer is one of the deities that does not want worship. So you might be confused, like, if he doesn't want worship, why do we have a devotional space? Like, why do we develop these kinds of things here? Like, if he doesn't want that. There's a difference between the devotional space and the act of giving offerings, then there is, worshiping, because worshiping is like, I'm giving you a statue, I'm praying to you, I am like begging for your help, right? And with a devotional space, it's a little bit different. We have these devotional spaces because it's kind of like having a guest room in your house. This is where he can go to kind of, chill out and just be in your presence, or have his presence around you. Same thing. And what you want to traditionally do is we would typically have a candle in his honor. And I understand some people can't have candles, but if you do, it's a good sign, especially when you're kind of beginning maybe, to learn how to read the flame, because this will help you know if his presence is around, if he's trying to get your attention, and other things like that. But we also have a devotional space because this is where we can give physical offerings to a deity of any kind. So with Lucifer, I talked about this in my last video. He can have things, or he likes things like dark chocolate, even like the little seasonal ones. So if it's like Christmas time and you know those little like Christmas chocolates, like little things like that, herbs like peppermint. But there's also like alcohol. I know he's a big fan of that, but Jack Daniels is his favorite. But if you can't have alcohol around your house or around you or whatever, for whatever reason, that's okay. They're not going to request something that you're uncomfortable with. So if you have issues with that or you can't get it, like they're not going to request it in the first place. But generally, anything surrounding the theme of either protection or grounding is a good offering for Lucifer. So you can look at that towards crystals, herbs, food, certain types of drinks. Like I said, just keep the theme of grounding and protection, and that should be good to go. That and a candle, and you're good. But if you don't have a devotional space, or you can't afford to give offerings, like I said, he won't request something that is unattainable for you. So what you can do then is do an act of service. And this is where we're going to start to see the theme of, you know, why it's important to understand a deity's lore, because this is what he's going to expect of you. Like I said, he'll be here for a different reason. Everyone's situation is going to be different. So if he's around you for healing and stuff like that, you're going to be at the journal or at the desk with your journal, doing the shadow work prompts. And, that's going to be, your offering to him is like, I am living in your honor. I am living your purpose, the purpose that you set for everyone who, honors you. Like I said, he fell from heaven because he wanted people to become their higher self. So whatever that means to you, whether that means, needing to do a guided meditation, needing to do some shadow work to work through healing, like I said, becoming your higher self is the best offering you can give to him, because that is what he left heaven for people to do. So yeah, this could even mean, because this is personally what I did, was I wrote down like what my higher self looks like, how they act, how they, just everything. Like I kind of almost like scripted a new personality for myself, envisioning that this was my higher self, and I decided to embody that. So I was like, okay, what would my morning routine be if I was my higher self? I'm gonna get up at this time, or I'm gonna get up and I'm gonna do yoga, and I'm going to do this, and I'm going to eat a healthy diet. So, whatever that means to you, again, other people's, things are going to differ. But like I said, again, because I don't want to get too repetitive, whatever that means to you, become your higher self. And that is the best thing to do as an offering, because also too, you can give him, physical offerings all you want, but if you don't also kind of do the part you need to in your behavior, he might just like leave, because you need to also show that you are, you're like in it to win it, I guess. So how to actually work with him? Again, this is going to differ for everyone's thing. There are going to be times where you're not like full on working with him, doing spells and stuff like that all the time. That's not really how he kind of works from what I've gathered. It's more so he comes in to help you deal with the process of events changing, is what I have noticed. So like I had said, if you are in a relationship with somebody who is not meant for you, and I don't want to get like too in depth about what that can be for some people, because I also don't want to, trigger or offend anybody, but this happens all the time. if you don't have the bravery to leave the person for whatever reason, no judgment from me, he will definitely make it so that if you can't leave this person for whatever reason, or whoever this person is, he will, definitely be doing something to, cancel plans, to make the person, break up the connection, whether that's, breaking up, never seeing this person again, getting too busy to see this person, conflicting things. And basically what he will do is just help you go through the process. So the best thing that you can really do, honestly, to ask how to, or to, discuss working with him, is just to ask him, sit down with him. I know he doesn't really like tarot as a divination method, and many spirits don't, because there's a wide margin for error. So if you were to just sit down with him and just kind of close your eyes and just kind of speak out loud or in your mind to him and be like, okay, what do you want to do with me? Do you want me to do shadow work? Do you want me to do this? Whatever it is, he's just kind of there to help you go through the process of, your emotions, and kind of deal with everything going on, so that you can roll with the punches, and then he'll kind of just do everything else behind the scenes. So obviously, like I said again, everyone's situation is different, but this is just the majority of people. So yeah, that's just kind of some things you can expect. But like I said, if you are struggling with money, he, again, will still orchestrate things behind the scenes, but also you may expect to do some more money spells than for somebody that's trying to leave a toxic connection. So yeah, he'll just kind of tell you what to do. Just make sure that you are obviously, of course, being respectful to him. That's kind of the best way to go. And yeah, because he will, he works fast, by the way, but if you are making improvement, he will reciprocate that to you. Obviously, if you are putting in the work, he will, in turn give that back to you like threefold. So yeah, I hope this was helpful to anybody that is, embarking on their journey of working with Lucifer. I hope this was helpful for some of you guys that are going through this. If you still have questions, you can leave them in the comments. I know it's kind of like, especially when you're a beginner, you want to make sure you get everything down, but yeah, no, you're good. Hopefully this was helpful, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!